Hey, have any of you guys ever started playing a game series that it seemed like it kept getting better and better as it went on? And then at some point, one of the games in the series just drops the ball. That is exactly the feeling I got playing Terra Cresta 3D. Terra Cresta 2, by the way, was a legitimately great space shooter. Honestly, if you're into shoot 'em ups or space shooters at all, I'd call it a must play. But Terra Cresta 3D? I cannot say the same for this game. I had super high hopes for this game. My expectations were through the roof, which might have been part of the problem. But even then, this game just doesn't live up to what came before it. There are good parts to this game, for sure, but it does so much more wrong than it does right. But before we get into that, if you like space shooters and you want to support the channel, I highly recommend checking out Nova Rebellion, my game studio's space shooter series. It's available on Steam for about $5, and I'll leave a link to it in the description. I'd really appreciate the support. Now to get back to talking about Terra Cresta 3D. And let's start with the good. Number 1, the difficulty. Mostly. For the most part, not always, but for the most part, Terra Cresta 3D is easier than the previous games. The levels themselves are pretty simple, enemy projectiles are easier to read and predict, and the overall flow of the stages is pretty manageable. 2. The graphics and aesthetics. I actually think the game's graphics are pretty neat, and no two levels look the same. The game has a cool, distinct aesthetic, and the shift to 3D models isn't terrible. It's just not what I expected, but visually, it's pretty decent. And number 3, the music. Easily the best part of the game. The soundtrack is awesome! Almost all of it sounds orchestral, and it's honestly the best part of the entire experience. Some highlights on the soundtrack include the first level theme. The main menu theme. The title screen theme. As well as Stage 4's music. As well as Stage 5. honestly, these are just the ones that stood out the most. The entire soundtrack is superb. And maybe with the exception of the credits music, I can listen to any song in this soundtrack and think, yeah, that's awesome. If nothing else, I would 100% recommend listening to the soundtrack. As for everything else, it kinda sucks. The first problem is the game is shockingly short. There are only 6 levels and 3 bosses. And that's it. And outside the main campaign, you got nothing. No bonus modes, no score attack, and no extras. Literally in the main menu, there's just new game and config. And a continue option if you put in a cheat code. And you can beat the entire game in about 30 minutes. For comparison, Terra Cresta 2 took me about 50 minutes to an hour for a full run. This game is literally half the length of its predecessor. And 2, the formation customization is gone. This is a huge downgrade. The last 2 games had formation customization. Terra Cresta had a basic version of this, and Terra Cresta 2 really built upon the system and refined it. But in Terra Cresta 3, it is gone. It is completely absent, nowhere to be found. You only get 3 ship parts now, by the way, instead of the 5 found in the previous 2 games, and the formation itself sucks. And you can still split your ship apart to 5 waves around you, but it's still a massive downgrade. The one cool thing though is the Phoenix. Instead of your ship becoming an invincible Phoenix, you actually summon a Phoenix that nukes the entire screen. It looks badass as hell, but it doesn't save this system. And number 3, the bosses are terrible. This is the worst part of the game. The normal levels are simple and easy. And honestly, pretty fun. But the bosses, they are absolute bullet sponges. You can spend 6 to 7 minutes just firing into these things. Their patterns are simple and repetitive, and mind-numbingly boring. The final boss is a little tricky, but overall, these fights are just endurance tests with almost no variation. And here's another kicker. The game only goes into 3D during the boss fights. Like, when I heard Terra Cresta 3D, I was expecting full Star Fox style 3D levels. Instead, I got top-down gameplay with 3D models. And the only time it shifts into true 3D is during the boss fights, which absolutely sucks. Also, another complaint. In Terra Cresta 2, you had unlimited continues, okay? In Terra Cresta 3D, you get 4. 4 continues. If you get 4 game overs, you're going back to the beginning of the game. Now, to be fair, the game is shorter, but the bosses are so tanky that I kept losing all my lives and continues on the first boss because of how long it took to kill. Luckily, there is a cheat code, YYXXB. This gives you 99 lives. Yes, I used a cheat code to beat the game. What are you gonna do? Sue me? So, is Terra Cresta 3D a bad game? On its own, not really. I'd call it a mid-tier, on-rails space shooter with an absolutely fantastic soundtrack. It's not offensively bad, it's not broken, and it has genuine moments of fun. But when you take it as part of the Terra Cresta series, especially after playing the 3 games that came before it, this is easily the weakest entry in the series next to Moon Cresta. But honestly, I'd still play this over the original Moon Cresta on most days. But compare this to its predecessor, Terra Cresta 2? This is a massive downgrade. Now, after playing it, I understand why this game never left Japan. And yeah, I should mention that this game was a Sega Saturn exclusive that never left Japan. And it was the last game in the Terra Cresta series for a long time, until Solar Cresta came out in February 2022, which is the game I'll be looking at next week. And from what I've heard, this is actually a really good game, and I'm actually really excited to play it. And I'm hoping I'm not disappointed again like I was playing Terra Cresta 3D. So, I'll be seeing you guys next week for my review of Solar Cresta. This is Troy Schultz, the Anti-Gamer Slayer, signing off!